If you've ever been driving through certain parts of Jersey at 2 a.m. completely alone with your phone at 4%, you already know the feeling. Those places you find yourself in and your body immediately enters fight or flight. Except flight isn't an option because you're stuck at a red light and the guy on the corner is staring at you like you owe him money. Today, we're going through 9 places in this state where you absolutely, under no circumstances, want to find yourself after midnight. These spots all have one thing in common. When the sun goes down, the smart people go home. Let's start with the place that sells you a dream and then stabs you in the back. We're talking about the Atlantic City Boardwalk, especially during the off-season. Now look, during the summer, the AC Boardwalk isn't horrible. It's loud, usually crowded with bachelorette parties wearing matching dresses and dudes named Anthony who lost their entire direct deposit at the blackjack table like it's a charity donation. There's enough neon, noise, and foot traffic to trick your brain into thinking this is a functioning, safe environment. But October through April, after midnight, the boardwalk becomes a post-apocalyptic movie set. The stores are shuttered behind metal gates, the rides are off, Steel Pier is closed and dark. That giant Ferris wheel, third biggest in the country, by the way, is just sitting there motionless against the sky like a haunted carnival decoration. And the boardwalk itself, all 5.5 miles of it, the longest in the world, becomes the world's most terrifying wind tunnel. Cold ocean air ripping through at 30 miles per hour. Empty benches lined up like they're waiting for ghosts, and the occasional silhouette walking toward you from 200 yards away that you can't quite identify until they're close enough for you to realize it's too late to cross to the other side. The casinos are still lit up, sure, but the second you step outside those doors, the distance between the casino entrance and your car becomes a psychological obstacle course. Panhandlers who've been workshopping their pitch all night, teenagers in ski masks who are about to ask you where you're from, and a smell coming off the ocean that's equal parts salt air and poor life decisions. Off-season Atlantic City is the kind of place where you power walk to your car with your keys between your fingers like you're Wolverine. Not because anything's definitely going to happen, but because nothing about this place is telling you it won't. Next up, we head to Newark Penn Station, which during the day is one of the busiest transit hubs on the East Coast. Thousands of commuters pouring through every morning like a human river of coffee breath and quiet desperation. But after midnight, Newark Penn Station goes through a transformation so dramatic it should qualify for a makeover show on TLC. The commuters vanish and the ticket windows slam shut. The main waiting room, which already looks like it peaked aesthetically during the Truman administration, becomes something between a homeless shelter and a David Lynch film. People draped across benches in positions that defy both comfort and physics. A smell that started as industrial cleaner and is now losing a territorial war with something ancient and undefeated. Fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like they're running on prayers and one remaining fuse. Now, technically, there's police everywhere. Newark PD, NJ, Transit Police, Port Authority Police. This building has more overlapping law enforcement jurisdictions than most federal courthouses. You'd think that would be comforting. And yet when you're standing on an empty platform at 1:15 a.m., your train's delayed with no update, and you're staring down a dark tunnel that looks like it leads directly to the underworld, all those badges don't mean a damn thing to the part of your brain that controls fear. And then there's the outside. Step through those doors after midnight and you're in downtown Newark, which is a city that a lot of people are trying very hard to revitalize, and yet none of those people are outside right now. Locals will tell you to Uber. Seasoned travelers will tell you to just stay in Manhattan and pay the extra $40. And the people who've actually been standing outside Newark Penn at 2 a.m. will tell you it was fine, but they'll say it like someone describing an illness they barely survived. Now we're heading to the capital of New Jersey itself, the seat of government, the city where laws are written, budgets are debated, and democracy functions in real time. Trenton. And yes, we mean the whole damn place. Being the state capital sounds prestigious until you realize that the only people who go to Trenton on purpose are politicians, government employees, and people whose GPS betrayed them while trying to get to Princeton. It's a city with a violent crime rate nearly 3 times the national average. During the day, parts of Trenton are fine. The State House is there, and it's architecturally beautiful. There are some good restaurants. People are trying. But after midnight, Trenton transforms into a place where trying went to bed 3 hours ago and gave up custody of the streets to whatever's out there now. The downtown empties out like someone pulled a fire alarm. The streetlights don't cover every block, and the ones that do are putting in the kind of weak, flickering effort that suggests even the electricity wants to leave. The neighborhoods that felt tense at noon are now operating on a frequency that your body understands, even if your brain hasn't caught up yet. And you'll drive past that famous bridge sign on Route 1, the one that says, "Trenton makes, the world takes." And at 2 a.m., the only thing going through your head is, what exactly is being taken right now? And is it my Honda Civic? Because I swear I parked it right here. Now we're going somewhere completely different. No cities, few buildings, just 1,000,000 acres of thick woods, no cell service, and the creeping certainty that you are not alone. The Pine Barrens. This is the part of New Jersey that people from other states refuse to believe exists. Over 1,000,000 acres of dense protected forest stretching across 7 counties in the southern half of the state. During the day, it's gorgeous. Hiking trails, cranberry bogs, kayaking on the Mullica River. Very peaceful, very scenic. Very much the kind of place where your cell phone goes from 4 bars to no service faster than you can say, "I should have told someone where I was going." After midnight, the Pine Barrens becomes a completely different area. The roads have no lights. The tree canopy blocks the moon. There are no buildings, no gas stations, no reference points. Just absolute darkness in every direction and the occasional sound of something large moving through the brush that you're going to tell yourself was a deer. Because the alternative is not something you're emotionally equipped to deal with right now. This is the birthplace of the Jersey Devil legend. People have been swearing there's a winged creature living in these woods since the 1700s. 300 years of people saying, "I saw something out there," and the rest of New Jersey responding, "Sure you did, buddy." The Pine Barrens has also been an actual, documented dumping ground for bodies and other things people needed to make disappear permanently. This is where New Jersey buries its secrets. If your car breaks down in the Pine Barrens at 2 a.m., you're bargaining with God. And even he might leave you on red because the signal out here is between 0 and you're on your own. The Journal Square Transportation Center bus terminals in Jersey City are next, and if you've ever been there past midnight, you already know exactly what I'm about to say. During the day, Journal Square is a legit transit hub. PATH trains to Manhattan, NJ Transit buses to everywhere, connections to all of Hudson County. It's packed, it's loud, it works. People are moving, coffee is being consumed, and everything feels like a city that functions. But after midnight, Journal Square becomes the transit equivalent of a dive bar that lost its liquor license but stayed open anyway. The bus platforms, which sit right on the street level, become open-air lounges for people who are not waiting for buses and have no intention of getting on one. The plaza gets dim. Conversations you can't quite hear start happening in corners. And the underground PATH platform, which is still running because PATH technically operates 24/7, means you could find yourself standing alone underground at 1:30 a.m. between trains in a station built in the 1930s, listening to the echo of dripping water and your own heartbeat competing for which one can make you more uncomfortable. Kennedy Boulevard after midnight hits different too. The delis are closed, the energy shifts, the people still out at that hour are out at that hour for a reason, and that reason is not your business, and your business is to get on the next train and leave. Journal Square at night is the kind of place where you check your phone for the train schedule, then check it again 30 seconds later. Not because the time changed, but because staring at a screen is better than staring at whatever's happening on your left. Now let's go somewhere that isn't dangerous in the crime stat sense. No muggings or car thefts, no statistical reason to be afraid, just 10 miles of pure, distilled, uncut psychological horror. Clinton Road in West Milford. This is a road that runs from Route 23 near Newfoundland up to Upper Greenwood Lake, and it has been ranked as one of the most haunted roads on the entire planet. This road is internationally recognized for being terrifying, which is honestly the most New Jersey thing possible. We can't get credit for having good pizza, but we've got a globally ranked haunted road. Great. There are almost no houses on Clinton Road, no streetlights, businesses, or cell service, just 10 miles of dense forest, sharp turns, and a darkness so complete that turning off your headlights would be functionally identical to being buried alive with your eyes open. The legends on this road read like someone combined every campfire story ever told and set them all in the same zip code. There's the Ghost Boy Bridge, where a kid supposedly drowned and now returns coins you throw into the water. There are phantom headlights that appear behind you, chase you to the end of the road, and vanish. And there are reports of strange hybrid animals wandering the forest, supposedly the inbred descendants of exotic animals that escaped from a defunct safari park called Jungle Habitat that closed in 1976, which is the most unhinged backstory for a wildlife sighting I've ever heard. And then there's the part that isn't a legend. In 1983, a cyclist found a human body in a garbage bag on the side of Clinton Road. The victim turned out to be a guy murdered by Richard Kuklinski, the Iceman, one of the most prolific contract killers in American history. So let me get this straight. The road with the ghost boy, the phantom trucks, the satanic castle, and the mutant animals is also the road where the mob dumps bodies. At that point, you're driving through a real-life horror movie set. A local police chief once described Clinton Road by saying, "It's a long, desolate stretch and makes the imagination go nuts." That's the official police assessment. That's a cop basically saying, "Yeah, that road is messed up, but at least I have a gun." The backroads of Warren and Sussex County are next. And this one isn't about a single location. It's about an entire region of New Jersey that most of the state pretends doesn't exist. Once you get far enough northwest, past the last Target, past the last Starbucks, past the last recognizable sign of modern life, you enter a version of New Jersey that looks like someone copy-pasted rural Appalachia over the state line and hoped nobody would notice. Warren and Sussex counties during the day are beautiful. Rolling hills, horse farms, small towns with one traffic light, and a diner that's been open since Eisenhower. Very scenic and peaceful. At night, these back roads become a time machine to an era before electricity was fully committed to the region. No streetlights, just two-lane roads winding through hills and valleys in a darkness so thick you could chew it. The kind of dark where city people would genuinely panic. Darkness like I cannot see the road I am driving on, and I'm starting to question whether the road is still there. And then there's places like Shades of Death Road, which is an actual road in Warren County. Named that on purpose by adults who presumably had other naming options available to them. This road runs past Jenny Jump State Forest and Ghost Lake because apparently the person in charge of naming things in northwestern New Jersey was either deeply traumatized or writing a screenplay and couldn't stop. If you break down on a back road in Warren County at 2 a.m., nobody's coming. Not a tow truck, not a cop, not even a concerned local. You're just going to sit there in the dark, in the silence, with nothing but the sound of the woods and the slow realization that this is the origin story of every horror movie you've ever watched. And finally, we end with the city that has been on every single most dangerous places in America list for the last 3 decades straight. The city that other dangerous cities look at and go, "Damn, y'all okay over there?" Now, let me be fair, because Camden deserves fairness at this point. This city has been making legitimate, documented progress. Violent crime dropped 12% in the first half of 2025. They recorded their first homicide-free summer in 50 years. The Camden County Police Department has been nationally recognized as a model for community policing. The city's graduation rate has jumped from 49 to 70% in the last 12 years. Real things are happening. But we're not talking about daytime Camden near the aquarium where families are taking pictures with the USS New Jersey. We're talking about Camden at 2 a.m. And at 2 a.m., the parts of Camden that aren't the waterfront revival zone are still very much Camden. And the central and northwestern neighborhoods still carry the weight of decades of poverty, disinvestment, and the kind of institutional neglect that doesn't disappear because a statistic improved. Rows of vacant houses with boarded windows, streets where the lighting situation can best be described as aspirational, intersections where the stop signs feel more like suggestions and the traffic lights are just decoration for a neighborhood that runs on its own rules. Camden after midnight is a place where the progress is real, but the scars are deeper, where the numbers are heading in the right direction, but the streets still remember every year they didn't, where the city is genuinely, honestly turning a corner. But if you're standing on that corner at 2 a.m., you're not thinking about statistics. You're thinking about whether your car doors are locked and if you can make that yellow light. So there it is. 9 places in New Jersey you do not want to find yourself after midnight. Some are dangerous, some are haunted, some are just deeply, profoundly uncomfortable in a way that no amount of Google reviews can prepare you for. Stay safe out there, lock your doors, charge your phone, and if you're on Clinton Road at midnight, do not throw a coin off that bridge. You don't need a ghost boy in your life right now. You've got enough going on.